All right, today on The Explainer, we're going after a sneaky saboteur, one that might be affecting millions of people who have no idea. We're talking about unmasking vitamin B12 deficiency.
So, let me ask you something. Are you feeling just tired all the time? A little weak? Maybe your memory's not what it used to be? Maybe you've even had that weird tingling feeling in your hands or feet. It's so easy to just chalk that up to being busy, right? We all do it.
But what if all those things aren't just random? What if they're all clues pointing to one single thing that's surprisingly easy to fix? We're talking about a hidden vitamin deficiency. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's pull back the curtain on this hidden saboteur. We're zeroing in on vitamin B12 deficiency. This thing that quietly messes with how you feel day in and day out.
So what is vitamin B12 anyway? Well, it's an essential nutrient. And when I say essential, I really mean it. Your body needs it to keep your nerves and blood cells healthy. It even helps build the actual DNA in every single one of your cells. But here's the catch. Your body can't make it at all. You have to get it from what you eat.
Okay, so that leads to the next big question, right? If we eat it, how does our body actually use it? The journey it takes is a little more complicated than you guess, and knowing how it works is the key to understanding how it can all go wrong. The best way to think about it is like a VIP who needs a special escort. So first you eat something with B12. Your stomach acid then acts like security, basically freeing the B12 from the protein it's latched onto in the food. But then, and this is the important part, the B12 can't get into your system on its own. It needs a partner, a protein called intrinsic factor, to act as its personal escort. Once they're paired up, then they can get absorbed and go do all that important work.
So when things go wrong, it's usually for one of two reasons. The first one is pretty straightforward. It's a dietary issue. You're simply not getting enough B12 from your food. This can definitely be a concern for strict vegans or vegetarians. But the second reason is trickier. It's an absorption issue. This means you could be eating all the B12 in the world, but your body just can't grab onto it. This can happen because of things like gastritis, that's just an inflamed stomach lining, or an autoimmune condition called pernicious anemia, which actually stops your body from making that crucial intrinsic factor escort protein.
And one of the biggest knock-on effects of low B12 is something called anemia. Imagine your red blood cells are like tiny taxis, delivering oxygen all over your body. Well, B12 is what you need to build those taxis. If you don't have enough B12, you get a citywide taxi shortage. And that lack of oxygen getting where it needs to go, that's what makes you feel so wiped out and weak.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of spotting the warning signs. Because it's not just about feeling tired. This deficiency sends out all kinds of signals. Ones that affect your body, your nervous system, and yeah, even your mood.
So, clue number one, the physical stuff. Obviously, there's that deep can't-shake-it fatigue. But you should also look out for things like a sore mouth or tongue, maybe feeling nauseous or just not hungry. Some people even notice their skin looks kind of pale or yellowish, and that's a direct sign of those unhealthy red blood cells we were just talking about.
Then there's the neurological side of things. Remember how B12 is crucial for your nerves? Well, when you're running low, it can feel like a direct attack on your nervous system. We're talking about that weird pins and needles sensation, maybe some vision problems, and it can even get more serious, causing real memory trouble or making you feel confused.
And finally, this saboteur can mess with your mind. Feeling unusually irritable, down, or depressed for no clear reason? These sudden shifts in your feelings and behavior can absolutely be psychological clues. It's just a powerful reminder of how connected our brain chemistry is to our physical health.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem and all the confusing ways it can show up, but here's the really good news. Figuring this out and treating it, it's surprisingly straightforward.
It literally all boils down to one simple blood test. A doctor checks the B12 levels in your blood, and really, the magic number they're looking for is 150. If you're below that, you've got a deficiency and it's time for treatment. It's that simple.
When it comes to treatment, you basically go down one of two paths, and it all depends on why you're deficient. If it's just a gap in your diet, some oral supplements will usually get you back on track. But if it's that absorption problem we talked about, then the solution looks different. You might need ongoing, lifelong therapy, sometimes with high-dose pills or even injections, which are a clever way to bypass that broken absorption system altogether.
So how do you play offense here?
How can you make sure your levels stay right where they need to be? Let's build your personal B12 defense plan.
Your first and best line of defense is always going to be your diet. B12 is found naturally in animal products, so things like fish, meat, eggs, and milk. Now, if you're on a plant-based diet, your best friend is fortified foods. You'll want to look for things like breakfast cereals, nutritional yeast, or plant milks that have B12 added right in. Just got to make a habit of checking those labels.
Which of course brings up the big question. Is it better to get your B12 from food, or is popping a supplement just as good?
Well, the expert advice on this is pretty clear. Dr. O'Donovan, who we've been referencing, puts it really simply. He says a good, balanced diet is always better than just taking supplements. So, when it comes to prevention, think food first.
And if you want to know just how serious this can be, get this. The symptoms, like memory loss, can overlap so much with dementia that Dr. O'Donovan says some specialists now require patients to have a B12 test done before they'll even begin a dementia assessment. Just think about that. It shows you how this simple, treatable deficiency can look exactly like something so much more frightening.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. If you've been listening and nodding along, struggling with some of those same vague, nagging symptoms, it's worth asking the question, could the real culprit be something as simple as a vitamin deficiency? And could one simple blood test be the key that unlocks the energy and the